Welcome to Life Matters Simplified, your daily dose of wisdom. In today's episode, we're tackling a big one: how to stop people-pleasing and start living for yourself. Does this sound familiar? You say yes when you want to say no. You put others' needs before your own, constantly. And when you finally try to put yourself first, guilt creeps in. If this sounds like you, don't worry, you're not alone. Today, we're going to break free from the cycle of people-pleasing and take back control of your life. Let's simplify life together. Segment 1. What is people-pleasing and why do we do it? Let's start with a question. Have you ever agreed to do something just to avoid disappointing someone, even though you didn't want to do it? If your answer is yes, congratulations. You've experienced people-pleasing firsthand. But why do we do this? At its core, people-pleasing is a defense mechanism. It often stems from a fear of rejection. If I say no, they won't like me. A need for validation. If I make them happy, I'll be worthy. Avoidance of conflict. Saying yes is easier than dealing with their disappointment. The result? We end up prioritizing everyone else at the cost of ourselves. But here's the truth. You are not responsible for other people's happiness at the expense of your own. Saying a no doesn't make you a bad person. Segment 2. 5 powerful steps to stop people-pleasing. Now that we know why we do it, let's break the habit with 5 powerful steps. Step 1. Recognize where you are overcommitting. Have you ever looked at your schedule and realized it's packed with things you didn't even want to do? Start paying attention to when you say yes out of guilt or fear. Ask yourself, do I actually want to do this? Am I agreeing out of obligation? What would I do if I wasn't afraid of disappointing them? Quick exercise. For the next 24 hours, take note of every time you agree to something you don't want to do. Awareness is the first step to change. Step 2. Learn to say no without feeling guilty. Saying no feels uncomfortable at first. But remember, every time you say yes to something you don't want, you're saying no to yourself. Here's how to say no gracefully. The soft no: I really appreciate you asking, but I can't commit to this right now. The redirect: I can't do that, but I can help in a smaller way. The firm no: I'm focusing on my priorities right now, so I have to decline. Challenge for you. The next time someone asks for a favor you don't want to do, practice using one of these responses. See how it feels. Step 3. Set boundaries without guilt. Have you ever felt exhausted from always being available for others? Setting boundaries is not selfish. It's necessary. Boundaries can look like time boundaries: I'm not available after 7 p.m. Emotional boundaries: I can't be your emotional dumping ground all the time. Work boundaries: I can't take on extra projects right now. Quick exercise. Write down one boundary you need to set this week. Then, practice enforcing it. Step 4. Detach from others' opinions. Do you often worry about what others will think if you put yourself first? Here's the hard truth. People's opinions of you are not your responsibility. You can't control how others react. Ask yourself, will this matter a year from now? Do I want to live my life for others or for myself? Powerful mindset shift. Repeat after me. I do not exist to meet others' expectations. I exist to live a life that makes me happy. Step 5. Prioritize your own happiness. What would you do if you weren't constantly trying to please others? It's time to reconnect with yourself. Start asking, what makes me happy? What do I want in life? What would I do if I wasn't afraid of disappointing anyone? Challenge for you. This week, do one thing just for yourself, without worrying about what others will think. It could be taking a break without explaining yourself, pursuing a hobby you love, setting aside time just for you. Segment 3. Overcoming common roadblocks. Breaking free from people-pleasing isn't easy. Let's tackle some common fears. Fear: if I say no, people will be upset. Truth: the right people will respect your boundaries. Those who don't might not be worth keeping close. Fear: I don't know who I am without people-pleasing. Truth: this is your chance to rediscover your true self. Fear: I feel selfish putting myself first. Truth: you can't pour from an empty cup. Taking care of yourself allows you to show up better for others. Final thoughts and takeaways. At the end of the day, life is too short to live for others. You deserve to live a life that makes you happy. Here's a quick recap of today's episode. Recognize where you're overcommitting. Learn to say a no without guilt. Set boundaries to protect your energy. Detach from others' opinions. Prioritize your happiness. Ask yourself, am I living for myself or for others? If the answer isn't clear, now is the time to start making changes. If you found this episode valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Join us next time for another dose of wisdom, right here on Life Matters Simplified. Until then, stay true to yourself, set your boundaries, and start living life on your own terms.